All right, so with it being Wednesday, we are now halfway to the weekend. And just like we did last week, we're going to go ahead and turn this into a tradition where we cover all of the leaks that are available to us, whether it be for this weekend's update or for the following. And yes, the reason why I'm saying that is because I may have a little bit of bad news for you guys, but I promise that at least the information that we know so far, it seems like it might be worth it. Now, to start things off, let's go ahead and kind of get the elephant out of the room here. And that's the unfortunate news. If you guys haven't heard already, the Megalodon event has been unfortunately moved to November 30th. This means that this weekend we will not be receiving the major update. Instead, it will be the following weekend. That's sort of a bittersweet thing because unfortunately, we're not going to get a bunch of new content, but that doesn't change the fact that we are going to be receiving some type of content for this weekend coming up. I'll go a little more into detail in just a second. First off, I want to go over the entire Megalodon event because now we officially know that not only are we receiving the Megalodon event, but we're also going to be receiving a brand new island called Ancient Isles. If you read down here, it says FISH's biggest content update yet, the Ancient Isles expansion will include the addition of the Megalodon event, a limited time event where players can participate in hunting Megalodon. So it looks like specifically the Megalodon event is going to be limited time. So this will be very similar to kind of like a Nessie thing, except that obviously the Nessie was attached to the Halloween event. But like they always do, they gave us a little more further details at the bottom. It says this update will include a new island, a new bestiary, and the ancient archives, a long forgotten and mysterious place thought to keep powerful secrets. This is insane, and it gets me really excited to kind of have my fingers crossed that there's going to be like another secret rod. And the reason I say another is because technically speaking, I know that there's a lot of videos sort of showing where the trident is, but just imagine what it was like when the update actually dropped for the trident. That little hidden cave must have been an absolute nightmare to find. I can't say that I was fortunate enough to be around during that time. By the time that I came around, it was kind of like trident was the thing to get and word had already spread. So I'm excited, man. Hopefully Ancient Isles is something super crazy because so far the only real thing that we have is this image right here. Now, one of you guys reached out to me and gave me a really crazy theory that honestly makes a lot of sense to me, and I want to share it with you guys. But basically what someone told me is that this might be an NPC where basically this fish right here being what we're sort of assuming is the Isonade. Maybe we have to go out, fish Isonades, bring them to this NPC where this NPC then covers them in some type of like bait, where you would use that bait in order to attract the Megalodon. I thought that that was such a crazy theory, while at the same time being an actual genius theory. So I guess if there's anything that you guys should probably start preparing for is get to collecting a bunch of Isonades. It doesn't hurt to have a bunch of them in your inventory. Keep like 10 or 15 of them, nothing really too crazy, but just start racking up on those bad boys as soon as possible. Now, unfortunately, that's pretty much everything that we have for the 30th update. Now we're going to go over the stuff that's actually coming this weekend. I know that I sort of did that a little out of order, but there really isn't that much information that we have available to us for the 30th. And realistically, you guys are probably the most excited for the big content update. So for this weekend, what we have confirmed so far is that we are going to be receiving quality of life changes. I will be live this weekend as soon as the update drops. I know that it's not going to be anything too crazy, but maybe we'll host a couple of Aurora totems and some 8x luck and stuff like that during the stream. One of the things that probably a lot of you are more familiar with because they did post this inside of the public Discord server is this little feature down here that was posted by Number 6, one of the developers. It says, with the upcoming quality of life update this weekend, you'll now be able to sort your inventory with these different options. Double-clicking toggles ascending and descending sorting. So you'll be able to go ahead and sort your inventory between rarity, types, as well as weight. Really cool feature. Definitely going to be super useful to go ahead and keep everything organized and be able to find specific things, even though we do already have a search feature. This will sort of show us everything in a more general point of view. Now, I know I'm sort of jumping around here really quick. I actually just remembered this right now. I want to say maybe a week ago, this was posted by Kyle, which is the brand new lead developer moving forward for FISH. Even though he is, to my knowledge, very familiar with FISH, he was actually one of the developers that worked on the Desolate Deep update. He actually posted this picture, like I said, maybe like a week or two ago. And at the time, a lot of us didn't really know what was going on here, but now we definitely know that this is going to be Ancient Isles. It looks interesting. There's a lot going on here. It looks like there's some type of a rope mini game going on here that could potentially drop this rock. Obviously, we can't exactly see what's down there and where the rock is going to land, but it looks like there's a lot of interactive things going on throughout this entire map. If you look all the way over there, there's another one of those little rock things here. There's also a cactus holding up a rock, or it looks like it's holding up a rock, but technically there's another structure behind it. It just looks like they're really showing off that there's going to be a lot of interactive things going on in this new map. So that's super cool, super exciting. Yeah, if you notice right here, he actually mentions that they are indeed the new lead developer for FISCH. And then they mention where you might know us from the Desolate Dwelling update. Actually, I said that incorrectly, sorry. But then they mention where starting with Ancient Isles update, we'll be organizing, developing, and handling new updates on FISCH. We hope this is a welcome change, and we look forward to making good updates. And again, this sort of goes back to what I was just talking about at the beginning. In the Desolate Dwelling, we have the Trident, and that's sort of like this little secret rod that's available that's extremely overpowered. In my video yesterday, we went ahead and compared that with the brand new Rod of the Depths, and it is an extremely good competitor. Sometimes it could even be better than it, because from what I've heard from you guys, if you go ahead and put Abyssal on the Trident, that also gives some really good numbers. Obviously, I haven't tested that myself, but some of you have reached out and told me. So this is going to be interesting, man. I'm definitely excited to be able to look for something really secret and do it collectively with all of you on a stream as per usual. Now, for the next part of this, we're going over to the public testing server, because there's sort of a couple of interesting things that are going on here. And these seem like more like changes for quality of life. So for starters, they were kind of in the talks of adding a crab cage limit or whatever. It seems like majority of the votes went ahead and chose 350 as the limit. Don't really think that this is going to be an option anymore, mainly because of the fact that crab cages did get a 50% decrease on their XP, so they're technically not even worth it anymore. The only reason people are using crab cages now is to finish their bestiary, but that's about it. Some of the other things that are interesting here, though, is this right here. Auto use bait setting when you run out can be toggled in settings. That'll actually be extremely useful. Sometimes you're kind of distracted and you get into the rhythm of fishing. You'll run out of, for example, rapid catcher. It'd be nice if you had a setting where you'd be able to set up a following, maybe fish head. So that way it just automatically equips that as soon as you run out of your rapid catchers. I think that's a great feature. It looks like a lot of people agree too. So hopefully we see that for the quality of life update. On top of that, they also mentioned a little something about perfect catches. I have to agree that this is not really a common thing that, at least for me, I am able to accomplish. Obviously, it's a little bit different now if I'm using the no life rod, because that one just makes it extremely easy to get perfect catches. But for the average player, I feel like even if you're attempting really hard to get a perfect catch, it is somewhat of a challenge. So I'm not 100% sure what's going on here and why they were asking that, but interested to see what kind of changes they make here. Now, this next portion is going to be a little bit on the questionable side. This is probably what's going to get the comment section stirring right now. So it says VFX to add onto different rods that also come with a unique effect for perfect cast. So my thought process here is that they may have asked about the perfect catch because they were going to attach that to the brand new rod skins. And I guess because the results that they mainly got was that people usually get it 1 in every 5 casts, they just maybe decided, you know what, it's not worth it. Let's just go ahead and put it to perfect casts instead. Either way, the skin looks super sick. I mean, it's by far one of the coolest skins as far as like rods go. The effect obviously is one of a kind, but as a guy that their favorite color is red, I think that this is a no-brainer for me, and I absolutely want it. On top of that, you slap on those really cool effects that happen around the character, which no other rod in the game does that right now. I'm all for it. Either way, I'm sure you guys are already realizing what I'm leading into here. So at the very bottom, you'll see that there's going to be more options for these rod skins for in-game cash than there's going to be for Robux. So yes, some of these rod skins, it seems like they are going to be for Robux. And let's be real, really what's going to end up happening here is that the extremely cool ones, like for example, the one that's in this video, will likely be for Robux. At the bottom over here, Nate, the actual original owner of the game and the current owner of FISCH, went ahead and gave 2 options where most people went ahead and voted for full rod VFX/aura, likely fully shown in the post above. So again, I think that's really cool. Hopefully the prices for this, if they are for Robux, are reasonable, and hopefully there is absolutely no beneficial gain besides purely cosmetic, very similar to the bobbers. Don't add any type of boost whatsoever, nothing, not even the tiniest thing. do not make this pay to win. Please, I beg of you. Just make it look really pretty and call it a day. But either way, man, I'm thinking that more than likely we're probably going to see rod skins this weekend. Obviously, that's a bit of a long stretch. There hasn't really been any word whatsoever about this, and it's very possible that this might get pushed over to the Megalodon update, but I feel like right now it's probably like a 50-50 chance. Either way, besides from that, Const, which I'm sure you guys are super familiar with here on the channel, we always have him on the live streams. He went ahead and actually talked a little bit about the lower end devices, maybe some of you that are playing on like mobile and stuff like that, or even obviously like slower computers, I would imagine. He mentioned about a performance mode where the game would kind of be able to detect that your FPS is too low or that you could potentially crash. This would make your game faster by removing unnecessary elements and can be toggled on and off in the settings section. Most people went ahead and voted for yes, so this is kind of like a no-brainer. It's going to be awesome for those of you guys that are maybe struggling to get into the game. And they sort of made a post down here where they wanted to kind of prioritize when they should be working on this, and it seems like performance issues make the game less enjoyable got the most amount of votes, which is kind of like obvious. But at the bottom he mentions it looks like a lot of you are having issues. We'll work around the clock to add performance mode this weekend. So perfect. Those of you that maybe are having a little bit on the slower side game, you may be actually saved for this weekend because there will be a brand new performance mode. But yeah, man, I think leading up to this weekend we're probably going to get a lot more information tomorrow, Friday. If there's anything that's like absolutely game changer, I'll make a follow-up video. I just like to keep you guys in the loop on everything that's going on. I know that we started this tradition sort of last week, and I want to make sure that we do this every single week. Even next week, although we talked a lot about the Megalodon today, we'll probably be getting way more information next week, and I will do a full breakdown video on getting you guys prepared. For right now, make sure that you grab yourself a couple of isonades. Keep them in your inventory. It doesn't hurt to just have a couple. But I think for the most part, we're going to end off the video right there, man. Hopefully you guys went ahead and enjoyed this. Either way, with that being said, I will see you guys in the next one. Take care.